Welcome back to the Void Compass. I'm always attempting to bring you to a place of freedom and liberation, a place of clarity in consciousness, and a place where you can release yourself from the pain that this journey brings. When you've been on this journey for a while, you will notice that you reach a point where you no longer question your behavior. You no longer question why you want what you want and why you say you need what you need. It almost becomes an automated, self-perpetuating mechanism that keeps you locked in to this attachment to your twin flame story, this narrative that is ongoing, that you are waiting for some kind of resolution for. What I'm talking about, and where I'm guiding you, is to a place of clarity and release. Not because they can't play a role in your future in some form or another. We see that happens very often. But we're talking about clarity, independent of any outside narrative. We're talking about soul connection and alignment outside of any external narrative. We're talking about a vertical relationship to consciousness and unconditional love, directly to soul, that is independent and not contingent on anybody else's actions within the 3D illusion. But this clarity comes at a cost. What is the cost? What is the price of freedom and release? What is the cost of this clarity? Everything. What do I mean when I say everything? This journey, make no mistake about it, is designed to bring you into awareness of the deepest limiting beliefs and the deepest trauma-ridden layers within your consciousness. It will leave nothing out, I guarantee you. It is like this by design. It is an aggressive foray, a most intense, deep dive into every belief that you hold deep beneath the surface. The kind of beliefs that leave that background pain always present when you wake up. You feel it. When you're preparing your breakfast, you feel it. That nagging pain. When you're out and about, there's this background sensation that you can never quite seem to get past. And to your soul, even though you are managing this pain with your own status quo, to your soul that's just not good enough, that just won't do. And it uses the story of your twin in the 3D physical to get your attention so deeply, to spike that pain at certain junctures in your journey, and to leave you with that background sensation that there just isn't something quite right within you. Because it will leave nothing unaddressed. And one way or another, you are brought from the place of asking questions about your narrative, about your twin flame journey. You stop asking those questions because you realize the real questions you want to ask are, why do I feel this way? Because this began long before the twin ever showed up in your life. These are your core beliefs and your core wounds. They have been there since forever. Only now, your mind has convinced itself that the relief from this ever-long pain lies in the resolution of this narrative with your twin. This is the illusion you are waking up out of. This pain was always there. Your soul is lovingly making you aware because it wants you to be the most expanded, unlimited version of you in this lifetime. That's what awakening is. That's why I say, this clarity will cost you everything. You will have to dive deep, one way or another, because eventually you will tire. You can only run for so long. It will force you to see your deepest fears, to see your limiting beliefs. Whether you go looking for them actively, which is what I recommend, or whether it brings them to you in such an undeniable and painful way, you will be forced to contend with them. It's attempting to run away from your shadow. Does it ever work? Why does it keep up with you so perfectly, no matter how hard you run? No matter how adept you've become at running, you've become faster. Your muscles have become more efficient. You know how to manage this and manage that. And yet it's there, seemingly conjoined with you, never far behind. It's always been there, and it will always be there until it is fully addressed. The question stops becoming, when will my twin this and when will my twin that? And it becomes, why do I feel this way? I've always felt this way. Why do I feel this way? That is the beginning of clarity. That is when you start delving deep. That is why I speak of emotional transmutation. Why I speak of diving deep within the body. I've discussed these techniques many times on this channel. That is why it's so important. Do you know that every belief that you have, whatever belief it is, has its own self-perpetuating mechanisms that help it perpetuate its existence. And sometimes all it takes is one small attachment, latent belief that convinces you on a deep unconscious level that it's in your best interest to keep believing that main core belief. Let me give you an example. There are people who are in deep solitude on this journey, on their awakening journey. Deep solitude. And when you keep digging and uncovering, they're terrified of it. They're truly fearful of being alone forever. They're terrified that there's this belief that says, in this lifetime, for some undisclosed reason, I must walk it alone, and I will always walk it alone. I just know it. I can just feel it. And on the surface, that seems like it's a done deal. I've said it. I've noticed it. I can feel it. And the absolutist statement, I will always walk alone on this journey, surfaces within your consciousness. But what if there's another attached, latent belief that is connected to this? That says, I'm secretly terrified that if I ever were to have a deep connection with someone again, I would lose my autonomy. I would lose my freedom. Or they absolutely would hurt me, because then they would know everything about me, because it's such a deep connection, and they would know how to hurt me. Both of those beliefs are not empirically true. Not the first one, not the second, but they appear to be. How can it be true that you know that you absolutely must walk this path alone? You don't. It's a belief. How do you know that you will absolutely lose your autonomy, or that this individual that you're connecting to, twin or not, would absolutely hurt you and systematically break you down? You don't know that. That's not empirically true. It's just a belief. Why did that belief come around in the first place? Experience and trauma. When you've experienced extremely painful events in your life, and they are unaddressed, unacknowledged, unhealed, and unloved, beliefs such as this arise and remain in your consciousness and are pulling the strings behind the scenes. Now, do you see why it is so important to dive deep within your being, to heal the emotional content, those deep layers, to heal them, to reach a point where you can release yourself from those beliefs? That are deciding your experience. And they're out of alignment with what your soul knows to be true. And so they are felt as background pain. And instead of focusing deeply on going inward and releasing yourself from those extremely fearful core beliefs, when we are attached to that narrative, what do? We put all of that focus onto the perceived solution, which is, please let me resolve my twin flame journey. Please let the outcome that I really want come, because then I'm going to be free. No, you will not. No, you will not. No, you will not. The cost of clarity is everything. You must go within. That is the only way that this journey will resolve. Then the triggers are no longer needed. The absence is no longer needed. The painful behaviors are no longer needed. This is a journey within. I'm trying to get you to release yourself from this narrative, not because you can't ever be with them in the future. I'm not saying that. But I want to bring you the freedom and the clarity that allows you to fully let them go and release the narrative so that you can be free. So that you can realize that love never went anywhere. The only way is to dive in, head on, dive deep within your body. I speak of emotional transmutation very often. There are videos on my channel. I don't gatekeep this information. Seek it out. Have a watch. And if you're still unclear, you want that personalized guidance, you want me to look at your journey and help bring you from where you are, that place of confusion, being stuck in that loop, wondering why and how this can resolve. If you feel that way and you want to be personally guided, then yes, reach out to me. Jump into a session with me. Let's work through it. All the information, as always, is in the video description. I'm going to leave it there, but I will see you next time on the Void Compass with more.